The Seven Kingdoms. Strom continued to act as the central hub of Arotar. But as with Dalaran, many new city-states arose across the continent of Lordaeron. Gilneas, Alterac, and Kul'tiras were the first city-states to arise, and although they each had their own customs and commercial workings, they all held to the unifying authority of Strom. Under the vigilant watch of the Order of Tirsfall, Dalaran became the chief center of learning for magicians throughout the land. The Magocrats who ruled Dalaran founded the Kirin Tor, a specialized sect that was charged with cataloging and researching every spell, artifact, and magic item known to mankind at the time. Gilneas and Altera became strong supporters of Strom and developed mighty armies that explored the mountainous southern lands of Khazad-Mudan. It was during this period that humans first met the ancient race of dwarves and traveled to their cavernous subterranean city of Ironforge. The humans and dwarves shared many secrets of metalsmithing and engineering and discovered a common love for battle and storytelling. The city-state of Kul'tiras, founded upon a large island south of Lordaeron, developed a prosperous economy based on fishing and shipping. Over time, Kul'tiras built up a mighty fleet of merchant vessels that sailed throughout the known land in search of exotic goods to trade and sell. Yet, even as the economy of Arotar flourished, its strongest elements began to disintegrate. In time, the lords of Strom sought to move their estates to the lush northlands of Lordaeron and leave the arid lands of the south. The heirs of King Thoradin, the last descendant of the Arati bloodline, argued that Strom should not be abandoned, and thus incurred the displeasure of the greatened citizenry, who were likewise eager to leave. The lords of Strom, seeking to find purity and enlightenment in the untamed north, decided to leave their city behind. Far to the north of Dalaran, the lords of Strom built a new city-state, which they named Lordaeron. The entire continent would take its name from the city-state Lordaeron. Now, Lordaeron became a mecca for religious travelers and all those who sought inner peace and security. The descendants of the Arati, left within the crumbling walls of ancient Strom, decided to travel south, past the rocky mountains of Khazad-Mudan. Their journey finally ended after many long seasons, and they settled in the northern region of the continent they would name Azeroth. In a fertile valley, they founded the Kingdom of Stormwind, which quickly became a self-sufficient power in its own right. The few warriors still left in Strom decided to remain and guard the ancient walls of their city. Strom was no longer the center of the empire, but it developed into a new nation known as Stromgarde. Though each of the city-states became prosperous in its own right, the empire of Arator had effectively disintegrated. As each nation developed its own customs and beliefs, they became increasingly segregated from one another. King Thoradin's vision of a united humanity had faded at last.